everyone. Welcome to your Secure Privacy and Security segment. I'm Anna Berry, along with Alain Ghiai, CEO of Secure Private Data. How you doing, Alain?
Hi, Anna. Can I say something? Happy Switzerland Day. August 1st is our national holiday, and we've been around for 731 years defending free speech and libertarianism. So it started with three little cantons that were defending themselves against the Habsburg family, and now it's a wonderful country. So happy Switzerland Day to everyone out there who values freedom of speech, neutrality, and basically privacy, which is what we're all about.
Amen to that. How do you celebrate in Switzerland for your day?
We have like a zillion things we do. First of all, we eat. That's really important. So we got barbecues. We have the cowbells going. We eat cheese. We celebrate. We have fireworks the night before and the night during. So it's kind of relaxing. You go out. 70% of Switzerland's population lives in the mountain in rural areas. So yeah, we celebrate. Good food. And just enjoying the nice weather in Switzerland, and we eat good food too, obviously, and chocolate. Switzerland is even though they're famous for chocolate, it doesn't mean they're the most consumers, but they consume 11 kilos, about 23 pounds of chocolate a year, and we're still quite healthy. It's got one of the longest lifespan of people on Earth, and we really value people's privacy. We respect other people's privacy, and we will continue to do so. Thank God we don't have any EU regulation coming to Switzerland, which is kind of nice. So yeah, we just celebrate, just like on July 4th, you have your barbecue and your fireworks. It's not much different in Switzerland.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations. And that's exactly what we're talking about on our segments here, the Weekly Hack. Specifically today, we're going to talk about the MFA and the 2FA. I recently tried to log in to a new health plan, and they asked if I wanted 2FA. And I always say yes, but I want to talk to you about that specifically today because an article we're talking about, Microsoft researchers, they uncovered a massive phishing campaign that's happening a lot these days, and they can steal credentials even if a user has an MFA or the 2FA, and they did, and they attempted to compromise more than 10,000 organizations. So what can we do to make sure our data is private and secure?
So the thing, MFA is multiple factor authentication, and 2FA is two-factor authentication. A lot of time people will see we need to send you a text to verify this, and then you put the digits on the text, and that's like a way to verify that it's you. It's never fail-safe. First of all, most of that is the 2FA thing is done with phone. So when they send you a text and all of the phones have been compromised and phone numbers can be basically bought, somebody can just phish and sniff you and all of these things and basically try to spy on you and find out what you're logging into. The email phishing, what happened is it basically tricks you to maybe give away your password or give away something, obviously. And that's when they have your credentials. It's a way of stealing and tricking you to give away any kind of credential, whether it's a username or a phone number, and eventually the machines put two and two together. We don't use 2FA. We're going to have to implement it because people are comfortable with that. Ideally, I know this from a decade ago, some scientists told me you should just put sentences, but sentences that don't have anything to do with your activity. So if you're like golfing, don't put anything related to golf. Obviously, if you're on social media and you have any content there, don't use a password related to what you put on social media. So it's really hard. I would use what we're trying to do. We needed to go to a company called Okta. They also got compromised, unfortunately. And basically, we're trying to get passwordless authentication. So you have biometrics and things like that. But to do that, that company that we wanted to hire, they basically use Okta single sign-on. So there's never a full proof. So best thing, If you don't want to get, have a PhD in encryption, just change your password every 90 days if you can, at least for the important stuff, and change them around, and don't put anything related to your personal or business life. You can you can have the name of a mountain someplace with some digits and crazy characters, but you have to also remember your password, obviously. So 2FA is not 100%, MFA is not 100%. And you notice that these happens on big tech emails because they're already basically hacked. So if you use a big tech technology, you will be much more prone to these kind of attack. I'm not saying if you don't use a big tech technology, it won't happen, but you can reduce the incident rate by over 90%.
Let's talk about the biometrics as well. How do you feel about face recognition, fingerprints? Does that keep us safe?
Yes, so there's a couple of ways. There's the ones that you have on your device. Suppose what we do, because sometimes people say, I don't want to put my fingerprint. Well, then you're going to have to remember your username and your password every time you log in. And we're lazy. We don't want to put 20 digits every time. Plus, on these phones, I have a crooked finger. I can type the wrong thing, and after 3 times, it will lock you out for brute force. So I tell everyone, at least when you buy Sekur and you download the app after you bought it, just say yes to the biometric for the fingerprint. We don't even do full biometric. Because what's happening in our case, when you put your fingerprint, it's really the fingerprint is based on the device, it doesn't go to us. So we don't record any of it. And when you log out of the app, when you uninstall the application, all of that data is completely gone. So in this case, I encourage people to do their thumbprint or finger. I would use both hands, so you register both hands on your device. And it's the least intrusive way, unless you want to every time type in a username and a password, and you will get frustrated because sometimes you're going to type the wrong thing, and because it's hashed, you don't know which digit you type wrong. So it gets really frustrating, right? And you just have to accept a certain level, but that's from your device. So first, if you have Sekur, for example, you type your username and password. The password needs to be a really complex one if you can. Then you register, and it tells you in Samsung, for example, it tells you, do you want to register in the Samsung password thing? I say yes, and then I put my fingerprint. iPhone has the same thing. As you know, I'm more prone to buying a South Korean made phone, as we discussed last time, because none of the parts are made in China. There were stories about iPhone way back. It happens all the time that the brand new iPhone, for the first 30 days, all of the iCloud data and photos went to China directly. So I don't want to scare people who have $2,000 phones, but I prefer a phone made in Korea where down to the microchip is made in a country that is not hacking the entire United States.
Right. Well, that's a topic of conversation that will continue in our next segments. Well, let's talk about some of your services and the products you offer and the privacy component. It is Switzerland Day where you are, but talk about how it's ingrained in your society and it's also ingrained in your products.
Well, our products, first of all, are stored, all the data. We have essentially a secure communication platform. So email, messaging, data backup, password, etc. We store everything in Switzerland in our own servers. So that's important. I was just with a lawyer a couple hours ago going over all of the data privacies and everything as we're uplisting, hopefully, to NASDAQ. And part of the due diligence was that. And she was amazed, basically. So we basically store everything in our own server. We don't use any third-party hosting. That's one. It's in Switzerland, which has the data privacy laws the strictest in the world. So what we do is we have secure email, for example, where you can send somebody a secure send email using secure send on the webmail or on our secure mail app, where the recipient basically receives an email from you, Anna, and then it says, Anna sent you something, click here to read it. And then they read it, they click on it. You can also add a lot of attachments, and they don't need to register to our system to do that. They don't need to create anything fancy, and they can secure reply. That guarantees you full privacy within the server environment, because the data doesn't go away to somebody else who has an encryption key and they have to decrypt. It's all within our own server, just like the old BlackBerry. With Messenger, we never ask for your phone number. So you register with a username and password. You can message someone that doesn't have Sekur as well. If you have their mobile or email, we offer now 25 countries where you can send a text to and say, hey, chat with me. So we have self-destruct timers. We have a lot of good stuff. We basically have data privacy in our blood. Every time we create a function, the first thing we do is we say, how can I make it that I don't want to give away that kind of info? How can I make it that the customer has all of the privacy, the best privacy as they use this function? So really, the culture of the company is privacy. Besides the fact, there's many things that we do, like people don't have access to this, don't have access to that. Our entire being of thought process is, how can I have the most privacy? If I create a function, I want to make sure it has privacy in mind. And of course, our user base, we care about our people. And yes, August 1st, Switzerland Day, and hopefully maybe Privacy Day one day. I should probably apply to the Swiss Confederation and say, hey, can we make August 1st Privacy Day as well? I'm going to try that one day. But yeah, so privacy is like ingrained in our constitution, and we produce these solutions for people to have the full privacy with no big tech data mining. Obviously, we don't data mine you. We have no access to your stuff either. So it's important to know that.
Great. And they're fantastic products, and always happy to be speaking with you, because we're trying to help change the mindset of people. Privacy is really best understood when it's been breached, right? When you've had an attack against your data. So you're trying to prevent that for customers, everyday people like myself, or big businesses, big corporations out there. So you're doing good work.
It's like insurance, you want to buy it before you get robbed. And this is the same way. People are stealing your identity, so that's the best thing you can do, is get a product that respects that privacy and security. So, that's what we're all about.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us again, and go celebrate with your friends and family. Happy Switzerland Day.
Thank you. And as we say, Grüßli, so that means like hello. So
Grüßli.
Take care.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Thank you all for watching.